Okay, today we are solving equation and inequality applications. So we are taking some of those basic equations and inequalities that we know how to solve, and we are using them to essentially answer word problems. So go ahead and put your name on here. This is currently first hour. Took me a second. And we have a list of steps to help you get your equation or inequality solved. So your first step is going to be to identify your variable. So you can pick a letter. Some people always like to pick X. Some people like to pick a letter that stands for what they're solving for. So if we're trying to find weeks, we would do W equals weeks. So your first step is to identify your variable. And then your second step, once you have that variable identified, is going to be to write an equation or inequality. Do you have a pencil? Alakai, do you have a pencil? Get one. To write an equation or an inequality. And I put some notes there. Words like per or each are rates, and they get multiplied by the variable. So if we see something like we earn $10 per hour, that would be 10x or 10h, whatever it is. We spend $5 per day, or $5 each day. So those are going to be rates, and they get multiplied by a variable. And then the next thing is that most equations equal out to a total. So if you're saying I'm trying to make a total of, or at least, your equation or inequality is usually going to get compared to that total, or the desired ending amount. You'll see once we get started into the examples. Okay, and we've got two more steps, step 3 and 4. Step 3 is the basic part. We are going to solve. So once we get our inequality or equation written, we are going to solve it out. And then our last step is to add units and check our answer. So say, is this weeks, dollars, years, frogs, dogs? What in the world did we just solve? And when I say check our answer, I mean make sure your answer makes sense. If you're trying to save $2,000 to put the down payment on a car, and you get that it's only going to take you 3 weeks, that doesn't really make sense. If you are trying to decide how many, meals you can buy at McDonald's, and you get the answer is that you can buy 3,000 meals, that doesn't really make sense. So make sure that your answer makes sense in the context of the situation. Okay, any questions right now? Okay, next two problems. The last thing's on this page. So we've got two problems here. Annie buys 24 donuts for her class and a coffee for $3.50. If her total is $17.90, how much did each donut cost? So step 1, figuring out what we're solving for. What are we trying to figure out? How much a donut costs. Each donut. So I'm going to use the variable D equals donut cost. And I'm going to put cost specifically because sometimes you're solving for the cost of something, and sometimes you're solving for how many you get, and in this one we're solving for the cost. D equals the cost of a donut. Okay. We know that she buys 24 donuts. So the amount she spends on donuts is going to be 24 times however much they cost. So I'm going to put in 24D plus, what else does she spend money on? Coffee, and how much does she spend? $3.50. So 24D plus 350 equals, what is her total cost? $17.90. So 24 donuts plus the $3.50 she spent on coffee equals her total of $17.90. Any questions on writing that equation? Okay. There are going to be problems today where you might solve it without writing an equation. This is a two-part assignment. Both writing the equation and having your answer are both parts, okay? So it's fine if you solve it out a different way and get your answer a different way, but you still need to go back and write the equation. So that's the two things we're going to be checking. Did you write an equation? Did you solve a problem? Or do you have the answer? Okay, from here, we just solve it like a normal equation. I'll subtract 350 from both sides. I'll get 24D equals 1790 minus 350 is $14.40. Alright, and then the last thing I need to do to finish solving that is I need to divide by 24. These cancel. And then I'm definitely going to need a calculator for this. Where's my calculator? So let me cover that up. 14.40 divided by 24 is 0.6. So 0.6. What does 0.6 mean in the context of this problem? 60 cents. So you can either write it as $0.60 or you can write it as 60 cents. So either of those would be acceptable answers. Hey, any questions on that one? Okay. And does that make sense? 60 cents for a donut? Is that reasonable-ish? It's a pretty good deal, but I feel like Dunkin', they're like $1 each. Okay. Tony is saving up to buy a camera. He has already saved $45, and he makes $42.50 per week. How many weeks does Tony have to work to earn at least $300 for the camera? So, first of all, what is our variable? What are we trying to figure out? How long it'll take in weeks. So let's do W equals weeks. Okay, how much does he make per week? $42.50. So $42.50 per week. We're going to do 42.50 W plus, he already has that $45. That's already in his pocket. And we are trying to save at least $300. Would he still have enough money to buy his camera if he saved more than $300? Yes. So in this situation, we're going to write an inequality. We are going to say that he needs greater than or equal to $300. So at least usually means greater than or equal to, because we need at least that much or more. And then we're going to solve. So from there, we will subtract 45 from both sides. We'll say 42.50W is greater than or equal to 300 minus 45 is 255. And then we'll divide by 42.5. So W is greater than or equal to, what is 255 divided by 42.5? 6. So 255 divided by 42.5 is 6, so we are greater than or equal to, and we can add our label, 6 weeks. So he needs to work for at least 6 weeks. What's up? Okay. Any questions on either of the problems that we have seen on this side of the page? Okay, in that case, flip it over. We've got 2 on the back. Okay, fountain drinks are $1.30 each, and chips are $1.75 at the gas station. Nathan had $10, and then he bought 2 bags of chips. How many fountain drinks can Nathan buy? There's a couple things that are a little bit different in this one. First of all, what are we solving for?
How many fountain drinks?
Okay, so how many drinks can he buy? I'm going to use just D equals drinks. Okay. Next question. How much money did he spend on chips? How much is a bag of chips? Read the problem. How much is a bag of chips? $1.75. How many bags of chips did he buy? 2. So we have to do a little pre-math before we put it in our problem. So he bought 2 bags of chips for $1.75. So he spent $3.50 on chips. So I'm going to put a little note to myself up here that says $3.50 on chips. He spent that $1.75, but he bought 2 bags. So you guys got to pay really close attention for stuff like that. There's like a problem on here where it says she buys 4 burgers and they're $5 each. We got to say, oh, that means she spent $20 on burgers. Okay, so now we're ready to write our equation or our inequality. We know that fountain drinks are $1.30 each, so we'll put 1.30 D plus the $3.50 he's already spent. How much can he spend? $10. Does he have to spend all $10? No. Can he spend exactly $10 if he wants to, though? Yes. We're pretending like taxes and things. That's too complicated. So we're going to say less than or equal to 10. Okay. Any questions on writing the inequality? Yeah. How do you do which part? The solving or the writing? The writing. 1.30 D. So whoever's making that noise with their glue stick, stop. It's annoying. 1.30 D plus $3.50 is less than or equal to 10.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, So from there, we'll subtract the 350. We'll have 1.30 D is less than or equal to 10 minus 350 is 650. And we'll divide by that 1.3. We'll get D is less than or equal to 6.50 divided by 1.3 is 5. That'll be 5 drinks. So you can buy 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0 drinks would all be the numbers of drinks he could afford. Hey, any questions right now? Okay, very last problem. Shadow is an overweight cat. His starting weight was 23 pounds. He has already lost 3 pounds and is losing 1.5 pounds per month. How many months will it take for Shadow to weigh 14 pounds or less? So, he's losing 1.5 pounds per month. This one we put on here specifically because of that losing. So there's one on your assignment where you're using up your phone battery. This one, Shadow is losing weight. So our rate here is going down. So it is going to be decreasing. It's going to be a negative rate. So the first thing we need to do, we need to say M equals months, because that's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so how much weight is he losing per month? So 1.5 pounds, so minus 1.5 per month, plus, and this part's a little tricky right here because I wrote it kind of weird, sorry. How much does he currently weigh? But he already lost 3 pounds, so 20 pounds. So negative 1.5 M plus the 20 pounds he currently weighs. You got to read there. And we are trying to figure out how long it will take for him to weigh 14 pounds or less. So less than or equal to 14 pounds. Alright, so we'll solve this one. We're going to subtract 20. Negative 1.5 M is less than or equal to 14 minus 20 is negative 6. Then we'll divide by that negative 1.5. When we divide by a negative in an inequality, what do we need to do? Flip the sign, so it's going to become greater than or equal to. And then that negative divided by a negative is positive. 6 divided by 1.5, $1.53, $4.56. $1.50 goes into $6 4 times, is what I think about. So that's going to be 4 months. So it's going to take at more than or equal to 4 months. So at 4 months, he would weigh exactly 14 pounds. Eventually he needs to stop losing weight or else he'll be negative weight. So remember to flip your sign because it's going to take at least 14 or 4 months, not less than 4 months. Okay, any questions right now? Okay, go ahead and glue in these notes to your notebook.